could be. I mean, I've heard it all. Divorce, all that kind of stuff. So try to find out the motivation on, because I mean, everyone's selling to solve a problem. Just remember that everyone sells something. It could be anything, it could be a table, could be a car, so everyone's selling to solve a problem. So just find out what that motivation is, what the reason why they want to sell. If and that's find that out on the first call when talking to a seller. Agent, same thing, you could, but you can't really get as into the nitty gritty as because again they're speaking for the seller. You could still touch them. You could still, find out the reason why and go from there. But anyway, if you're talking directly to a seller, find out that, and then also on that, yeah, that's the first call. The second call, I would say, like if after running the numbers, you could you just thinking like, hey, did you have an idea like how much repairs it might need, things like that. Do you have like a dollar amount? What do you think it would take to get it? Because you want to hear what they have to say. I don't want to go and do the second call where it's like, oh, I have to be at 225 and that's it. You just talk to them. Like, hey, like I ran my hey Jim, I ran my numbers. I was looking. Obviously, this is a flip. I told you I'm looking to renovate this home. I would say a home like this renovated would go for 350. um, and have you seen other comps in that area in the area that's selling for that much? I would probably ask them that. I see that you're asking 300,000. Is that price? Are you stuck on that number, or is there any wiggle room on that price? Ask that. And you'll probably they'll say yes, no, whatever. It's like, okay, well, I'm just it has to make sense for me. Has to make sense for me. Um, to if I were to take this on, I'm thinking that this home needs about $40,000 in work. Does that seem about right? Have a conversation about that. Then it goes to okay, well, I mean, just running my numbers, just I'm just a numbers guy. It just makes the most sense if I were in the 225 range. Or if you don't want to say the exact number, it's like, hey, I might have to be a little bit less than 250, and just hear what they have to say, kind of shut up and listen. Go from there. But that's how you just have to. You can't just say, hey, I got to be at 225. That's it. Just talk to them. There's been many times where sellers tell me, oh, I have to sell at this price. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Have a legitimate reason why they can't take a lower offer, and that happens. But other times, they just are just they want that price just because they want that price. No rhyme or reason. But it has to make sense, because I don't want you guys. It sucks to, let's say you tell the seller you can't that you can accept that property at 300,000. Then you're over here wasting time to try to send it out to your buyers list, and everyone's coming back at like where you needed to be at, which was originally like in that 225 230 range. Then it's just like, then you have to be the bad guy. Like I want to kind of know also too. You could get some feedback from buyers, but still, like, you don't want to waste. I want to know that I can move the property before I even waste time locking it up. So it's always nice to kind of reverse engineer the deal. I would say, if you're building your buyers list, find out what they're buying, find out where they're buying, find out the prices that they're usually buying properties at, and then go from there. Because let's say, again, you lock something up at 300,000, you're not able to move it, then you're wasting your time, seller's time, everyone's time. But that's so hopefully that helps, Ali. Let's see. Can you look at Chicago, Illinois? Okay. For this one here, then Chicago, did you? What's the story on this one? If you could put it in the chat, or just say it out loud, whatever you want to do. Do they not have it on Zillow? I kind of like looking on. Me personally, I like looking on Zillow. I feel most comfortable on Zillow, not using like Redfin or whatever. But and it's just easier for me to run my numbers that way. All right, so we have this property, and it looks like looks decent from the okay. All right, go down to the studs. Nothing wrong with that. 5 to 7,000 square feet. Is it really 7,000? Unless they're including like the basement. First floor, 2 bedrooms, one upstairs, bedroom, basement is not pictured, but it's completely leveled, offering blank space. Don't miss this opportunity. Okay. Let's see. First thing I would want to do is duplicate the screen so everyone, if who's newer, like I like having the property up, and then I like duplicating the tab and then having it up again, and then clicking out and then looking at other single family homes that look similar to this, and to just get an idea what what that property could sell for when it's renovated. So I'll do that real quick. I'll go to like maybe 3 bedrooms and up. I know it's saying 7,000 square feet. I just feel like that's kind of doesn't look like it is that big of a home. Oops, my bad. Hold on 1 second here. I want to put this on a prop stream real quick just to see. Just 1 second here. For anyone who doesn't know what prop stream is, it's just like a just something that you could use. It's an addition. It's $99 a month. There's other sources out there, but you could use PropStream as one of the sources. Same with Batch Leads to look at additional data that you're not going to really typically see on Zillow. You know, I mean, you would have to, like, you're not going to see the owner's name or whatever on Zillow. You would have to go to like the county property appraiser site to see it. Then, if you want to see people's like estimated balances on mortgages and interest rate, that's what you would have to do. So I'm putting in the address here, Carpenter Street in Chicago. It's telling me it's a 2-1 and 798 square feet. Okay, so like I guess the agent had a typo because I don't understand how this is 7,000 square feet. It doesn't make any sense. But you see here, it's a 2-1, 798. They bought it for $38,000 in 2024. We can see the owners here, Artemio and Dolores, and they bought it for I guess they financed this possibly. That says cash. I guess it was kind of like I guess they took a hard money loan out, but it was straight cash. But yeah, I don't know if they did any work. So I mean, that's a call that I would have with the agent. Like, hey, I saw they just bought it recently. Did they do anything since they bought it? Like, I'm just, did they run out of capital? Did they, get over get in over their heads? But let's say, I would go to, since PropStream is saying it's a 2-1, I would want to do 2+, and I would probably do under 1,250 square feet in the past 12 months. We are on Carpenter Street. I'm trying to find exactly where South Carpenter Street is, right over here. So I want to look in this general vicinity here. Like, so let's say if there was like I wouldn't want to go past South Halstead Street. I would not want to go to the right of that. I would not want to go to the left of South I think it's Ashland Avenue. I wouldn't want to go past that. I want to stay like kind of right in this area. So I would use on the right hand side of Zillow. I would look and see other 2-1s that kind of look like like how we look here, and see if I could find a good comp that I could use. So let's see here. This is a 3-2-5-2-4-1. Well, actually, hold on 1 second here. I know PropStream was saying 2-1, but then they were saying, I guess it might be first floor, 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, upstairs 3 more. I guess, all right, so maybe they cleared it out for 5. That's probably what they did. All right, so like I'll go up to, let's say I'll go to 3+. They're probably, I wonder if they still just have, I wonder if it's just I don't know if they just have that 1 bath, because if they do, that might hurt their value too. Let's see here. Looking like it's not going to be, this was at 155. This was a little bit nicer, 3-2, 1,200 square feet. Where's this one at? Undisclosed address, so we can't really see where exactly. But this one looks like a good renovation here. And that's a 3-2, 1,200 square feet that sold for $200,000. So probably going to be around that price. This is a 4-2. 210. Maybe we could get a few pictures on that. This one was renovated as well. So we're getting around 200 for sure. And then these ones are a little, this one's a 5.2. This 232 is all the way at the bottom corner here, bottom left corner of my screen on 72nd Street. Another one, but I would say like around 200 is 200, 210 is a good price for, you know, for this home. So let's say I plug in 210. Let's say I do a 0.75 ARV. Let's see if there's anything in the chat here. One sec. I normally don't record Zooms. I sometimes for like you know, if I do like a one-on-one that they ask, but I would have to like, you know, have a lot of storage to just always keep recording every Zoom. So no. It can be sold as a duplex. Is that what it's unless there's like an entrance way in the back that I didn't see. I mean, maybe, I guess. I'm not sure if it can or not. It doesn't say anything about that unless the agent said something. I'm not sure. But like I did a 0.75 return. That got me to 157. A home like this, I mean, if it was, again, I don't know that. I don't see it being 7,000 square feet. I don't really know how big the home is. If it's like, let's say 1,000 square feet, you know, let's say if there's actually stuff inside, like, you know, if there's walls, there's drywall, that kind of stuff. Typically, if it was in rough shape, it would take about 60, I would say, to fix up a 1,000 square foot home. But let's say this is down to the studs. So something like this could easily be like, you know, 120 to fix everything up. And also it just depends on the materials, depends on the area. I mean, Chicago is different than my area of St. Pete. So like I don't know what everything usually costs per square foot from, if you know, but you could easily look it up. You know what it what's the cost per square foot to renovate a home that's gutted in Chicago, let's say, and then you put that on Google. You could look up look up the answer. It'll probably be on the higher side. They'll probably give you a range from like, you know, $50 a square foot to like $80 a square foot, whatever the case may be. And then you just times that by how much square foot. I would have to call the agent to find out, but I know I'll be shocked if this is actually 7,000 square foot. But let's say this home needs about, I don't know. I mean, I guess possibly like 120. I mean, I really don't know. That I'm getting an allowable offer of 37,000. And that's probably what I think that's what all right. So they bought it for that. I really don't. I mean, I don't know if they did anything really. Looks like they had all the stuff to try to, like, I don't know if they just cleaned it out, but I mean, they pretty much. I feel like if anything, people will maybe, if this sells, I would say maybe sell for like 50,000. But that's what I'm kind of seeing with this, because I mean this needs everything. Like I said, if there was actual regular flooring, you know, again, if it needed to work with flooring, if it needed like typical paint on the walls, and it needed a whole new kitchen, bathroom, something like just you know, kind of like cosmetics, then you're gonna be looking at like anywhere from like a 50 to 60. That's if you know those items needed work. I would say a rehab, yeah, it's gonna be around 100,000, possibly even more. Like I don't think any more than 120. But again, I don't know how materials are. Some areas are different than others. To really get the best idea, again, just you could put on Google like, what's the cost to renovate a home that's gutted in Chicago? What's the cost per square foot? And you could, you know, and then again, you just got to find out how much. You know, like I can just put it in right there. Hold on 1 second here. And I mean, the AI thing will say, so 100 to 200 square. I mean, I think that's a little bit higher than what it is for me. I don't know, but let's say we do 100 per square foot, and then let's say 100. Let's say that it's let's say it's 1,000 square feet. You know, then you could do the math and you could see the cost of that. So you know, 100 times 1,000, that's what you'll get. So So that's what I'm thinking, like anywhere from 100 to 120. Okay, but who knows? Again, we just I don't know about that 7,000. Um, let's see. Any other questions, guys, on this one on Carpenter Street? I sold a home like this before. I mean, again, it's everything. Everything's just numbers for investors. It could, they got to see if their time's really worth. There are some investors that like, even though they have the money, they see the opportunity with a home like this. They don't like, a big thing for them is holding costs. They know a project like, let's say if this was a cookie cutter home, it didn't need as much as work, and it's easy to get your crew in and out in 3 to 4 months. Let's say from buying it to renovating it into, like listing it like 3 4 months, they're okay with doing that. But this isn't a project that could take almost a year to renovate. From renovation, from buying it, renovating it into listing it, this would be like a year process. And then you have holding costs. You have your insurance, you have your taxes. All those types of fees that people don't really think about. They just don't want. They don't want to do. Even though if you can make a decent amount of, it would have to be like they would have to get at a crazy low price for them to see the value in it. But like for most people, for most investors, sometimes I talk to them, they're like, yeah, it's a good deal. I just don't want to be in this project for that long, or rather just do like a project that's 3 months long. It's all about time for them. Um, all right. So this one in South Carolina. Can you go over how? Um, So I don't know if you missed it, Sanjay, but I was kind of running numbers on this one here. So again, you want to duplicate your screen here. So again, I have the main property up here. And even though this really wasn't a good example because I don't really know how much square foot the home is, but I would have the main property up here. I would duplicate the tab, look for we're on South Carpenter Street. So I want to find stuff in that same area. I'm thinking I found a few homes that I could use something like this one. It doesn't say the address; it says undisclosed, but we could click on that. We saw that it was a whole big renovation. Sometimes also too, guys, you could look to see where they bought it for, and you see here they bought it for 38,000. They bought it for 38,000 on the market. You can see it was on the market because of this. It has like the whole MLS tag, and then they sold it for 200,000. So this is an act. If I'm looking to build buyers in Chicago, I'm gonna look to find out this buyer's information. You could either call the listing agent. The listing agent represented the seller, or which in case was the buyer or who bought it originally, the flipper. So I would call like Tyrone Green and hey, talk to him about this listing. Hey, Tyrone, how you doing? My name's Terrell. I saw you sold a house in Chicago. It was under like an undisclosed address. I wasn't sure the exact address. He'll probably tell you what it was. Do you know if this flipper is still renovating homes in that same area? Then you can find out if he wants to. The agent Tyrone could share that information with you, or you could go to like let's say. I don't have the address, but let's say we'll find another comp. I think that's another undisclosed address. Huh. This one was a renovation. Let's say if I go to South Morgan Street, I'll copy that address. Let's say I don't know if this was not really flipped. Doesn't really. I wonder if I go to just to see on here. But you could also go to the county what property appraised. Like I don't know what county Chicago's in, but just let's say if it's Chicago County, then Chicago County property appraiser. You could pull up information that way. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't really show. Okay. But yeah, that's how you would run it. Plug in all the repairs. There is a repair sheet in the. I know it's in the Discord. I'm not sure about the whole school thing. I just am now getting acquainted with that. I would say, yeah, lock it up for 40, try to move it for 45, move it for 50, and see how it goes. Might not be this one just got on the market, so like, for them to accept an offer that low, that might not be their game plan right now. They want to try to get as much as they can, but typically you can see it there, like, it's gonna have to sell for under 50,000. I'll be shocked if it sells anything more than 50,000 with the amount of work it needs. That's how I would do it. All right, so let's see. We got the other one in South Carolina on Hopkins. In Hopkins. Okay. All right, so this was a good opportunity. Let's see. Brick home. Probably, maybe it looks like it's going to be okay. Yep. So flooring, kitchen, bathroom, most likely. Yep. Uh, walls, all that. Oh, just needs everything, just needs everything. It's a set 1700 square foot home, almost 1800 square foot home. So I'll do the same thing. I would have the main property up here. I'll duplicate the tab. And then start just going to work. I would go on my filters on Zillow. I'll probably do anything to see 3 or more bedrooms. I'll go under 2,000, homes that are under 2,000 square feet and just look and see. Also too, when you're comping homes, like this one looks like a new construction. I mean, we were built, let's see, we were built in 1956. So like you want to find, if you're comping homes, you don't want to go more than 10 years apart. Cause I mean, this one looks like it was probably built within the past, 5 years, just based on how it looks. Okay. It's built in 2024. So like if a lot of people who are new are like, oh, they see this type of home. Let's say if it was a similar style, this is a bungalow style home. Let's say if this one was a bungalow style home, it's not, but let's say if it was, they'd be like, oh, okay. So the ARV's 232. No, it's not, because it was built in 2024. So you can't really compare. That's it's apples to oranges there. Just keep that in mind. We're in the middle of like, we're not in like a neighborhood. We're just on I guess a main road. So I don't know if there's going to be too many comps in that area. But let's look and see. I'm going to try to find something that's like I said, under 2,000 square feet, sold in the past 12 months, and see what we could find. We're probably going to have to, I don't want to, this is a whole different home, 228, can't compare to that. Can't compare to that either. I don't think we have a garage. I think we do. I don't know if this is I guess that could be a garage there. Let's see, hold on one second here. I guess I was saying garage detached, so maybe it's behind the house somewhere. Maybe I missed it. I guess maybe this could be the garage that's by itself there. Oh, there's no other pictures. Okay, here, I guess that looks like it's still attached though. Tough to say. All right, but anyway, let's get back to comping. 157 seems a little bit high. I mean, I don't want to. This is 195, a whole different home. I mean, I see this one here. It's a little bit. It's close to Ridge Road where we are at, but we might have to use this one. It's 1,200 square feet. So if it was like 1,800, obviously it would be a little bit more, maybe closer to 250, 3.2. This one looks like like it was renovated, based on these photos here. See the kitchen. You can see the beams on the wall. You could look and see a good place to help you like see what it was sold for. They bought it off market here. Actually, no, it was on market. You can see the MLS thing here. But they bought it for 110, and then they sold it for $200,000. So that could be probably where you need to be at price wise. That just helps you out a little bit. Again, we don't know what this home looked like prior, the one on Gatlin Drive, but you kind of get an idea. So maybe a home like this is, a home like this is worth a little bit more. I don't know how busy this road here on this Ridge Road is. Could be a little bit busy. We're not in like a neighborhood how this one is in a neighborhood like this. So let's see here. Something. Oh, and they just bought this for 110. So I mean, that's probably where you have to be at price wise. Anyway. Yeah, it's probably where you have to be at price wise anyway. You get asked, I mean, there are, so you probably bought it from like an auction or whatever. Could be like an investor, could be like just a regular person, just bought it off an auction, sheriff sale, whatever the case may be, and then list it for a little bit. And you could probably, again, it is doable to probably sell it a little bit, to probably buy it a little bit more than 110, but not going to be, yeah. So basically an investor, he bought it probably from like I don't know if it was like a sheriff sale or anything like that. Okay, no, just bought it off market from Teresa and I guess just Teresa Higgins. So he bought it from her. Lucas Properties LLC maybe doesn't want to do the work. Some people they buy it, they put it up on the market, and they can make a decent amount of money just without having to do anything because they got it at a decent price. I would say typically a home like this is probably based. I mean, we have limited comps, but I think you could probably get maybe it sells for 230. I mean, there's really nothing on this road that's sold, but maybe 230 you could get for it. But still, if you were to do the math on that, you would have to be um, maybe closer to 250. I don't. It's just tough to say. Anywhere from 230 to 250, I think. I know we saw this comp here that's 228, but it's smaller than ours by 400 square feet. So, let's say 235.75, you get your numbers there. Plugging in a home like this would definitely need about 80 to 100K in work. And then you'll get, plug in your fee, and then you get your offer. So there's that. All right. So any questions on the Ridge Road, guys? If so, just put it in the chat, or you can just tell me. I see one in Austin, Texas. What's the story on this one? Yeah, 235. I see and sometimes also too, like, you could always ask the agent too to see, like, if agent. You could always ask the agent, like, hey, I'm thinking ARV is 235. Does that seem about right to you? See if they have any other comps. I mean, maybe they have access to MLS, so maybe they're seeing something that I'm not seeing. But I would be surprised. I mean, it's just it looks like this is probably like a little bit of a main road here. We're not in the neighborhood, so it's, you got to think about that, because again, those are things that you're going to be selling to a family most cases. So you got to think, have like a investor mentality, because that could hurt again, it's like flipping a home right by a highway. It's not going to, let's say the ARV in the neighborhood's like 350, but you're right by a highway, or you're right by like a cemetery, like things like that hurt the ARV. You're on a main road, it hurts the ARV. You're right by a railroad tracks, it hurts the ARV. So let's say the ARV in that neighborhood was 350, but you're by X, Y, and Z, the property is probably going to be only worth like 320. So just think like that. And those are all things that I think Eric covers in the Discord. I'm not, or in the school. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. All right, so this one's off market. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I guess it's a duplex, possibly. Could be. It doesn't really. I mean, it's not listed, so it's not going to say. Sometimes it should say, like, property features and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't. Oh, it is right here. Sorry, apartment. All right, so maybe it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on each side. I don't know. Sometimes I could copy this address, put it on, let's say, PropStream. If you don't have PropStream, you could use PropWire. Same thing. I don't see. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So yeah, it's like two. Okay. So we have the Shadow Drive B. Okay. So it doesn't say. Probably is like a 2-2. They have it in a trust here. You can see Milner Trust. I wonder if it shows this one in the same. Okay, so it's two. Like, they have I guess, A side and then B side. B side is not in the trust, but still Carolyn. So we know the owner's name is Carolyn Milner. But yeah, it's showing off market here. Say duplicate the tab. I want to look for other 2 units in that area. I forgot that Texas is a non-disclosure state. With that, non-disclosure states, you're not able to see the price of the homes that's sold unless you have MLS access. So for someone typically like me, you know, I'm not an agent or anything like that. I can't see what this home sold for, like the one on Shag Bark Trail. I could click on it and see like, you know, what it was pending for, and then kind of make my assumptions from there. You know, it was pending at 550. Doesn't mean it's, you know, could have sold at 550, could have sold a little bit more than 550, could have sold less than 550. I don't think if I put it on PropStream, I don't think I would be able to see it. I would have to just double check and see. Um, I don't think. Sometimes it does tell me, sometimes it doesn't. Um, okay, so it's saying 520. So I was able to find out that it was 520. So I don't know if PropStream would tell me, or sorry, I don't know if PropWire would tell you guys. I don't use PropWire, but that's something you could use. It's free. But we could see MLS. It sold for 520. So we could see here it was listed for 550. It was pending at 550, and it sold 30 grand less than that. So that was the sale price back in October. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But I want to find duplexes in the area. We're over in this area. I want to, let's say, I'll go to I'll go to home type. I'll deselect everything and just click on multifamily. Because again, we are like multifamily or apartments. So we could see some, you know, in the area. And then I'll go, I think we were at 3,100. Yeah. So I'll go down to 35, 35 and lower here. Let's see here, 4.2. One second here. Okay, sorry, just making sure there's someone else asking questions. I can't tell. I mean, I'm trying to see if this one was saying multifamily, so maybe it was a 2-1 on both sides, but price unknown for that. Again, we have to click on. I would have to either go to the price history, see it here. You know, it was listed for $40.99. I could go here, copy, put that in PropStream, and then see. You know what exactly. So sometimes it tells me, sometimes it doesn't tell me. Let's see here, T1 saying 335 on that side, and then see here 327. So I don't know. All right, let's see. Actually, no, I don't want an apartment, just multifamily. Sorry. All right, so there's really only one multifamily in the area. So if I do apartments, I'll see. Let's see, this could be, I guess could be another multifamily here. So looks like probably like a 2-1 on both sides, and has a garage as well. Let me just go to Street View here. Let me see kind of like how the style of home is. All right, so there's a door there, so that's probably the one side, and then probably a door on the other side there. Unless it's, This looks like there's only one mailbox too. If it was a okay, then here's the second one there. Okay, so that's the B side, or A side. This is the A side here. Okay, so I've never seen that type of style though. All right, so I guess one side has 2 garages, and this is the front door, and then the B side, Shadow View Drive B, I guess is, you know, we have the 2 garage, so, you know, 4 garages total, and then here's their entryway over here, or maybe over here, I don't know, somewhere. But yeah, tonight, and it's on a corner lot too, so it could be really has good potential for sure. Just got to try to find out what it could sell for. I mean, this one here, looks like it's only one garage, and you get the side on the left, and the one garage, and you get the side on the right. Again, we can't see the price unless we could call an agent, or we could call the agent, or we could, you know, just go on here and try to find it out that way. It's just tough running numbers with when being in a non-disclosure state. I know Texas is one, Kansas is one. There's a few throughout the U.S. I mean, this one sold for 608. to see if there's any, photos. You could, it looks like this was renovated. And also too, let me see what they bought it for back in the day. Saying estimate. Let's see. Saying over five. I wonder if they bought it as like a package deal. I'm not sure. But let's say we go to Realtor if we want to see how the property looked. You just go to realtor.com, hit copy, hit paste. It doesn't look like there's any photos on Realtor other than this first one here. I wonder why, because it did come up again. Let me see if I do. That was unit A. Let's see if I could do unit B if there's any photos for unit B. Okay, there's photos for unit B. Looks like all homes are pretty much like that. It looks like there's 3 duplexes, 1, 2, and 3. But it looks pretty nice. Tile flooring looks like a nice open concept with the kitchen. Fireplace is looks good as well. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I'm just still trying to understand where I could be at price. This is like a unique home. When I get in situations like this where I can't really get an idea of, you know, what the value of the home is, I always usually hit up my buyers who buy in that area, and they could kind of tell me. It's like, hey, look, I'm working on something in Austin, Texas. Maybe I'll give them the zip code. I won't maybe say the exact address. Maybe just give them the zip code in the area. It's in this neighborhood. It's looks like it's a 2-2 on both sides. Again, we don't. I'm assuming it's a 2. Like, I don't know. Probably could be a 2-2 on both sides, so it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. But with 2 garages on each side. So like, I really don't know what. I know this is out of the neighborhood here. I wonder if saying it's apartment sold for I guess in around that 610 mark. And let's say if let's say we're getting ARV. Let's say ARV is 300,000 for homes that are renovated that are like duplexes. Then we know that's usually selling for around 150 a door. So you gotta do the math on that. And again, a home like that, a home like Shadowview needs some work and renovations and all that kind of stuff. So, but we know like after it's all said and done, they sell for around 150 a door. So yeah. So I guess it sold for around 227. It's not giving it's saying estimated. We don't know exactly now, but 227. Could be again lower, could be a little bit higher. I don't know. It's just tough when you don't have MLS access in a non-disclosure state. But I mean, I think for 1,800, we were 3,000. I mean, I really, it's tough for me to say. I really don't know. I feel like maybe it could be like 700 when it's all said and done, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. This is actually stumping me. I don't want to put too much time into this one. I know it's definitely over 6. Everything like this one was not like, a little bit smaller. I guess we're dealing with 3,000 square feet based on what Zillow's saying. I mean, if I go back to PropStream, I think it's set around the same price, I believe, or same size, I believe. Yeah, it's saying 3,000. Okay, so I guess the whole thing is 3,000. It looks, it's a fairly big home, so it's not doesn't look like it can't be that size. But yeah, so it's around 3,000, so we're a little bit bigger. So like I would say maybe around 700. I just can't really get a solid number. Everything like this is a good example here. I don't have any pictures. This is in a different neighborhood. I mean, I want to stay relatively in this area. I don't want to cross. I don't want to go to the west side of Route 1 over here. It's a whole different area. I just want to kind of stay right in this between here and here. Looking at the duplex. If it's a single family home, then I'll go a little bit. Let's say we're in here. I want to stay like in this area here, but I just want to. I mean, we have. This is just. Yeah, I don't want to use that. I mean, this is. I don't even know what. This is an actual apartment. I don't want to use that. And we have this here. It's a little bit south of us in North Austin. And then we have this one on Copper Cliff Avenue. So it's like I said, it's tough to really say. I don't know. Have you spoken to the owner at all? Have you spoken to? I think her name was Carolyn.
No, I've not. I just found it, and yeah. So I haven't done spoken to anyone.
Okay. See if you could, talk to her, see if she has a number in mind, and then kind of just go from there. Just so there are times where like when you call a seller, like, oh, what are you asking for it? But it's like, it's kind of hard to whenever I deal with that type of objection, it's like when you call somebody like yeah, like, yes, I do own that home, how much are you willing to buy it for? It's like I would just kind of like, it's tough to say. I'm running comps in the area. I mean, did you have a number in mind already that you'll be comfortable selling it at, and then just throw it back on them. Yeah, try to figure out what she would want for the home, and I guess once you figure that out price wise, just come back. If you need to reach out to me, you can. I I mean, I do use Discord still. I mean, you can put my name on, if you need to reach me, you can put it on Discord. And then but for school, it should be just my name, just Terrell. You can pull it up that way as well. But yeah, try to find out, exactly where she is, where she would, if she wants to sell, obviously first, and then if so, what price was she thinking of selling it at? When I play a typical cold call conversation, it's usually like, let's say, hi, is this Carolyn? She'll say yes, no, whatever. If she does give you the time of day, she'll say yes. It's like, how you doing? My name's Terrell. I buy properties over in Austin. I saw you had like a duplex over on Shadowview Drive. Would you be open to selling that one? And just kind of shut up and listen, see what she has to say, she, he, whoever. See what they have to say. If they do give you the time of day, they'll keep talking. They'll tell you, oh yeah, possibly, then it could lead to other questions like, okay, is it vacant? Do you have tenants in this property already on both sides? And, let's say she says yes. My next thing is like, okay, how much are they paying? Blah, blah, blah. It just opens up to everything else. Then when you kind of find all that kind of stuff out, then it's like, okay, it seems like a good home. And you said you would consider selling it. Did you have a price at all in mind that you would be open to selling the property at? And he or she will say, and then you just kind of go from there. Okay. I mean, I look in the area and try to see. It seems like a reasonable price, blah blah blah. Even let's say if it's not, just say it seems like a reasonable price. I mean, is it okay if I get back to you, if I maybe later tomorrow, if you're free, just kind of just give you enough time to see if it's worth 450, if it's worth whatever. And then they'll say yes or no. That's how I would treat that call. But I always thought like, no matter what the situation is, it could be a lead that's high equity, it could be a lead that's from a tired landlord, it could be a pre-foreclosure lead, could be a probate, could be anything. I treat it the same. Like I talk to I just say whoever his name it is. Hi, is this Eric? And they say yes, it's Eric. And then just kind of same thing. Hey, I buy properties in Houston. Hey, I buy properties in Los Angeles. Just same type of spiel. So you had something on 123 Main Street. Are you open to selling it? And then just kind of seeing what they have to say. And then if I do, like I said, everyone's selling for a problem. I mean, I've done I've done more off market deals than I have done on market. But I mean, off markets you'll get better deals for sure. You get better spreads. Um, on market, it's a little bit different when it's on market because it's obviously listed with the agent. My call to an agent would be like, hi, seeing if hi's, I'll say like, hi, my name's Terrell. I flip homes in this area. Is this I saw you had this listing on 123 Main Street, and they'll say yes. Is it still available? I'm not just want to make sure. And then they'll say yes, and then it's okay. And then my next thing is like, oh, so what can you tell me about the home? My looks like a 2-1, looks like it needs a little bit of work. Anything else? Like what could you like? What's the story on this one? That's a big thing you could say to the agents. Like, what's the story on this, or what can you tell me about this home? And then that's like a good icebreaker, and that could help you. That could lead to other conversations with the agent. I'll tell you the reason why the seller is selling. Could they could talk to be like they could talk to you saying like, oh, whatever the case may be. I mean, I've heard it all. It could be, oh yeah, it's, sellers looking to retire. They just want to. This is one of their rentals that they have. Blah blah blah. There was a tenant in place, but they moved out 2 months ago. So, yeah, like, the seller just wants to get rid of it. Just does have no need to be a landlord anymore. Blah blah blah. You know, or it could be a situation like, oh, you know, seller's childhood home, it's vacant. It's yeah, whoever, I don't know, they were raised there. It's whatever the case. Like, I've heard it all. So, but yeah, just, you know, if you do get in touch with Caroline, whatever, just try to find out the reason why she would be open to selling. Because again, there's not like a for sale sign anywhere on the property to indicate that she would sell. So you got to just, you know, treat it cold and just go from there. Sometimes too, you get some leads that are like, I pass, like, you know, if you're driving for dollars. I don't typically drive for dollars. I go places and then it just kind of just, you know, it just works out that way. Like, I was driving by in my neighborhood, kind of 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes from my neighborhood, and I saw this home. It's not listed anywhere. But there was a for sale sign by, like, you know, FSBO, for sale by owner. So there's a sign on the front door, or sorry, in the front yard, and I called the number that was listed. And kind of just go from there. It's off market. Still typically would consider, you know, it's not listed on MLS or Realtor or anything like that. It's off market. The guy said that he wanted. I haven't spoken to him over the phone. He's just been only text, and he wants 300,000 for it. A home, like, it's on a main road. It's on a busy road, Park Street. So it's like it's. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull it up here. Yes, it's on like a busy, like a 2-lane road here. You know, 2 lanes on both sides. So, you know, I mean, I sold a property a little bit away. Like, I sold a property over here, like in a neighborhood where it was like, you know, I think it was right over here. I sold something. So, like, and that was a 2-1. This one in here is a 3-1. I sold the one that was a 2-1 for. Sorry, I sold the one that was a 2-1 for a little. I got under contract for 200,000, and then I sold it for a little bit more than that. But so I know it's going to be probably in the same. I would need to be, like, again, lower, like in the low 200s to make something happen with this one. I know he said he wants 300,000. I tried to ask him when he's available if he could have a chat. He just never got back to me. I don't know. He's one of my follow-ups for today. But yeah, you could get leads like that off all the time. You could just drive somewhere, like, let's say you're going to Walmart, wherever, you know, just kind of just look around, look for properties. Because this property looks way worse than what it, you know, these are pictures from, I don't know, like 2018 or whatever. Let's see, 2019. So I mean, it looked better now, but like, these shrubs are overgrown. Property's kind of like, you know, it's not like as clear. It's not as like, I guess, wide as it was back then. It's like all kind of like, you know, dirty on the outside. Roof looks okay, I guess, from when I looked at it in person. And yeah, so, you know, just run your numbers, and I mean, I already know where I need to be at, but when I have to have a conversation with him, and hopefully he'll be open to selling it less than 300,000. But like, based on, I mean, I don't know if these are pictures from 2019. Who knows if it still looks like this? Either way, I mean, this would probably, you could only resell this property at, like, I would say low 300s, maybe like 325. But yeah, you would have to be definitely like in the 200 range to make anything happen with that. Any questions, guys? No questions, no questions. Let's see. I didn't miss anything. I guess I don't. Yeah, I guess I didn't miss anything. All right, guys. I mean, I'll end the Zoom now. My next Zoom will be. It's not listed, but it's not listed on school. But I usually do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the same time, 11 to 12. So, you know, my next Zoom will be on Wednesday, 11 to 12. Use this time if you're able to make a few calls, call listings, you could target some off-market leads. Best way to do that is you could use PropWire. It's free unless you're skip tracing, then it's like 10 cents. But you can type in propwire.com. You can pull up some information that way. You could also hit up your county sites. I mean, the old school way of doing it is just going to county courthouse. But if you have public information, like for example, like I know my area, they give a lot of public information. I could just go on like Pinellas County Clerk of Court. You could click on documents that are under lien, that houses that have liens on them, houses that have that are being foreclosed on, properties that they just filed for probate. So those are all good. I whenever I go after properties, like I try to target because obviously you want to try to target motivated sellers. So you gotta get in contact with tired landlords. You gotta get in contact with people who are in pre-foreclosure because they have to do something. They have a few months to make a decision on if they want to try to get their try to get their payments back in order. Whatever the case may be, they have to do something. You target properties with liens on them. It could be a tax lien, could be a water lien, HOA lien, and what's another good probates as well. If I didn't mention probates, so people who inherited properties. So let's say a relative passed away. Sometimes you could deal with the heirs. The heirs are people of the people's kin who let's say I'm dealing with probate right now. So basically, all right. So the guy's name is David. David passed away. David did not have any spouse. So he wasn't married and he didn't have any kids. But his mom is still alive. So the property would get if you have to file for the whole probate with an attorney. So that's what you have to do. So like his mom's name is Doris. Doris doesn't live in the property anymore. She lives in like a nursing home type of setup, and she has no desire to be in to live in David's house or whatever, things like that. So we have to have an attorney, which I do have an attorney working on the probate. So we have to file for her to be the personal representative of that estate. So personal representative of her son's property. So whenever and the probates usually take anywhere from like 2 to 3 months. It's a little time consuming, but when you do get them, you get good deals. I mean, I have the agreement for 85,000. I'm selling it for well over that. Because it's a situation where I'm just able. That's what the property's worth. It's probably worth about renovated, I would say about like 250, all that kind of stuff. But it's been abandoned for about 2-3 years now. Hasn't been lived in, I just know it's dated. And we can't see it. It's also to a pre-foreclosure. So it's locked up. You can't even access it. There's the key that she has doesn't work anymore. There's a lockbox on it. She can't enter the house. So we just, it's kind of my person who's buying it from me, he's buying it sight unseen. So we had to like kind of inflate the cost just in case, if it wasn't as well as Doris once said it was, because sometimes that happens, because she doesn't really know. But anyway, yeah, so you got to file for probate. Once that's done, you kind of put that in front of the judge in the courthouse, all that kind of stuff. You got this judge has to stamp the approval. Then once we do that, then we're all set to go. So I'm assuming we close on that one end of February, possibly, maybe middle of March. But yeah, that'll be a good that's a good property to find. But yeah, in the end of the day, just those are leads you want to go after: probates, pre-foreclosures, tired landlords, properties with liens. I would say those are like the 4 best ones. There's probably one more that I'm missing, but those are the 4 best ones, I would say. Especially pre-foreclosures, because they really have to do something. Probates, they don't have to sell. They could just keep the home in their family. But pre-foreclosures, again, they have to do something. They either get back on, because again they haven't made payments. So they have to, the bank's going to close on the property and, you know, go take it to auction, all that kind of stuff. So they're going to be without a home. So they want to do something because once they sell it at auction, the seller doesn't get anything. So why would they, you know, so you're going to be in their best, you're going to be their best option, because if they do sell it, obviously they'll try to sell it at a low number, that could work for you and them. And they don't get the stand, like, because if they get foreclosed on, then they can't really get any loans for the next 10 years. So that's big. So I mean, you want to try to help them out, make that aware to them, and they'll be willing to help you guys out most of the times. Yeah, anyway, if you have any additional questions, just reach out to me. You know, I put my name in the chat. But my next Zoom will be on Wednesday. Okay, guys? Take care.